Stop scrolling for a moment. Take a deep breath. You didn't stumble upon these words by accident. You're seeing this because Allah wanted you to. He knows exactly where you are in your life right now. The battles you're fighting in silence, the tears you hide behind your smile, the prayers that you whisper into the darkness of the night. He knows the weight you're carrying. And He's sending you this message as a sign you are not forgotten. Nothing in your life happens without purpose. Every step you take, every word you hear, every tear that falls from your eyes, it all happens within the divine plan of Allah. You may think that this moment, right now, is just another coincidence, but it isn't. You are here reading or listening to these words because Allah wanted you to be here. This moment was written for you before you were even born. He knew there would come a time when your heart would feel heavy, when you'd start to question your path, when you'd silently cry out for guidance. And that's why this message reached you today. It's not a random event, it's divine timing. You see, life is filled with moments we don't understand. Sometimes we walk through days that feel uncertain, where our prayers seem unanswered, and where our faith feels tested. We begin to wonder if Allah still remembers us, if our pain still matters. But this is where divine timing comes in. Allah does not make mistakes. His timing is flawless. What you see as delay, Allah sees as preparation. What you see as silence, Allah sees as the perfect moment to shape your heart. When you don't get what you want when you want it, it's not because Allah doesn't care. It's because He loves you too much to give you something before you are ready for it. There are moments in life when everything seems to fall apart. But what if those moments are actually falling into place according to Allah's perfect plan? Every closed door, every unexpected turn, every detour is part of a path that leads you to something greater. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and realize that Allah's plan was never to harm you. It was to prepare you for blessings beyond your imagination. The pain you're feeling today might be the very reason you become stronger tomorrow. The confusion you feel might be the very thing that brings you closer to Allah. When you think about divine timing, think about how the universe itself operates in complete harmony. The rising of the sun, the movement of the stars, the rhythm of your heartbeat, all following Allah's command. Nothing happens a second earlier or later than He allows. So how could your life, which He designed so intricately, be any different? The delays you face, the disappointments you endure, the moments that make you question your worth, all of it has purpose. Allah's wisdom is infinite, and His love for you is far beyond what your heart can comprehend. Right now, you might be in a season of waiting for something to change, waiting for a prayer to be answered, waiting for peace to return. But know this, every second of your waiting is being watched by Allah. Every tear you shed is counted. Every prayer you whisper is heard. Sometimes Allah makes you wait not because you're being punished, but because He's aligning everything perfectly for the right moment. If He were to give you what you want now, it might destroy you. But when He gives it at the right time, it will elevate you. And that's what this moment is about, divine timing. You're not seeing this speech by accident. You might have scrolled past countless things today, but your eyes stopped here. Your heart paused here. Why? Because Allah knew that you needed to hear this reminder at this exact moment. It's His way of reaching out to you, of reminding you that He hasn't forgotten you, even if you've started to forget yourself. So, when life doesn't go as planned, when doors close unexpectedly, when people leave, and when you feel alone, remind yourself, Allah's plan is greater than your pain. His timing is wiser than your expectations. He brought you here to remind you that He's still writing your story, and He hasn't finished yet. Every second of your life is unfolding exactly as it's meant to, according to the One who knows every beat of your heart. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you are meant to be, in the middle of Allah's divine plan. At the perfect time He chose for you to be here. And the fact that you are seeing this message right now is His sign to you, trust my timing. I brought you here for a reason. There are moments in life when we fall to our knees and whisper, why me? The pain feels unbearable, the loss feels too deep, and the silence from above feels deafening. We look around and see others smiling, moving forward, achieving their dreams while we're stuck in the storm. wondering why Allah chose us to face such trials. But what if the very test that's breaking your heart is actually a sign that Allah loves you? What if your struggles are not a punishment, but a form of purification, a divine embrace hidden within the hardship? You see, when Allah loves someone, He tests them. It's not to destroy them, but to strengthen them. The difficulties you face are not random. They are carefully chosen to build your character, refine your soul, and draw you closer to Him. When He removes certain people, blessings, or comforts from your life, it's because He knows they might have pulled you away from your purpose. When He allows pain to touch you, it's because He wants your heart to soften, your pride to fall, and your soul to remember who your true sustainer is. Every tear, every disappointment, every closed door, it all carries a message. Come back to me. Many people think that ease is a sign of Allah's love and that hardship is a sign of His anger, but it's often the opposite. Sometimes when life feels too smooth, we forget to call upon Him. But when we're broken, when we've hit the lowest point, that's when our hearts turn back to the one who never left. The test you're going through is not proof that Allah has abandoned you. It's proof that He is still investing in you. Because when Allah stops testing someone, it's when He has left them to their desires. And that is far worse than any pain you could ever feel. Think of the seed that is buried deep in the dark soil. To the seed, it might feel like the end, suffocating in the darkness. But in reality, it's just the beginning. The pressure, the soil, the hidden struggle, all of it is necessary for that seed to break open and grow into something beautiful. Your trials are the same. You might feel buried right now, but you're not buried to die. You're buried to bloom. Allah is using your hardship to plant something greater within you, something that will one day rise toward the light. When you face trials, don't rush to escape them. Instead, ask yourself, what is Allah teaching me through this? Because every hardship carries a hidden lesson: patience, humility, compassion, reliance, gratitude. Qualities that cannot be developed without struggle. Pain is a teacher that no comfort can ever replace. Allah allows the pain not to break you, but to awaken the strength and faith that was sleeping inside you. And sometimes the test itself is an answer to your dua. Maybe you prayed for stronger faith, so Allah sent you a hardship that forced you to depend only on Him. Maybe you asked for peace, and He removed the people or things that were silently robbing you of it. Maybe you prayed for success, and He made you face failure so you could learn resilience. The test is never random. It's tailored precisely for your heart's growth. When you remember that Allah is Al-Latif, the most gentle, you realize that even His tests are delivered with care. He knows exactly how much you can handle. He never gives you a burden heavier than your capacity. And the more you endure with patience and trust, the higher your rank becomes in His sight. Those sleepless nights, those silent tears, those moments of loneliness, they're all recorded. Not one moment of your pain is wasted. Allah turns your endurance into reward, your tears into purification, and your patience into closeness to Him. So the next time you feel like your world is falling apart, remind yourself Allah hasn't abandoned you. He's paying attention to you. He's crafting something beautiful out of your difficulty, something that will make sense one day when you look back and realize that every trial had a divine purpose. Every heartbreak carried a hidden mercy. Every delay was preparing you for something better. If you are being tested right now, consider it an honor, because Allah only tests those whose hearts He wants to bring closer to Himself. The storm in your life isn't a sign of His absence. It's proof of His presence. He sees your pain, He knows your struggle, and He promises that after hardship, there will always come ease. The test is temporary, but the reward for enduring it with faith is eternal. And when that realization sinks in, you'll stop asking, why me? And start whispering, thank you, Allah, for choosing me. One of the greatest tests in life is learning to trust what you cannot see. When everything around you feels uncertain, when plans fall apart, when the path ahead is clouded and the answers seem lost, that's when true faith is tested. It's easy to say you trust Allah when life is easy. But real trust is shown when everything feels impossible, when all you can see are the shadows of confusion and pain, yet your heart whispers, Allah has a plan and I trust Him. Trusting the unseen is not about blind optimism or pretending that pain doesn't exist. It's about surrendering to the reality that there's a wisdom greater than yours at work. A wisdom that sees what you can't, that knows what your heart needs even when you don't. You see, life isn't always meant to make sense from where you stand. Sometimes you have to lose something precious to gain something eternal. Sometimes you have to go through pain to be purified. Sometimes you have to be broken to be rebuilt. This is the essence of tawakkul, trusting Allah's plan even when your own plans fail. You might look at your life and think, this isn't how I imagined it. The dreams you once had may seem shattered, the relationships you valued may have ended, and the goals you worked for might seem out of reach. But what if those broken pieces are exactly what will make your life whole again? What if what you lost was never meant for you, and what's coming will be far better than what you once prayed for? Trusting Allah means believing that even when you don't understand the journey, you know the one who's guiding it never makes mistakes. The truth is, you are not meant to control everything. You are meant to do your best, to strive sincerely, and then to let go, to release your worries into the hands of the one who never fails. When you trust Allah, you stop fighting what's written for you and start flowing with it. You begin to see every delay, every disappointment, and every detour as part of something bigger. The problem is, we want immediate clarity. We want Allah to show us why things happen the way they do. But sometimes He doesn't reveal the why. He simply asks for trust. Think about the moments in your past when you felt hopeless, when you thought you'd never recover from something, and yet here you are. You made it through. The pain didn't last forever. The darkness didn't swallow you. At that time, you couldn't see the plan. But now, when you look back, you can see how perfectly everything unfolded. That's what trust in Allah does. It turns confusion into peace and chaos into calmness, because your heart knows that even when the path isn't clear, the destination is secure. Trusting the unseen plan also means understanding that not everything you want is good for you, and not everything you lose is bad for you. Sometimes Allah withholds something not to punish you, but to protect you. You might be crying over a door that closed while Allah is protecting you from what's behind it. You might be desperate for something to work out, but Allah knows it would break you. His refusal is not rejection, it's redirection. He takes away not to hurt you, but to make space for what's better. And if you could see the full picture, you would thank Him for every unanswered prayer. True peace begins when you stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start saying, I trust that Allah knows what He's doing, because He does. He knows every detail of your life, every thought, every pain, every tear. He knows when to give, when to take, when to delay, and when to deliver. The plan might be hidden, but the planner is never absent. So when you feel like nothing is going your way, when you feel like life is testing your patience beyond its limit, pause and remind yourself there's a reason. The one who wrote your story already knows how it ends. You just have to keep walking by faith, even when you can't see the next step. Don't lose hope because of what you see right now. Focus on what you know, that Allah is working behind the scenes in ways that your eyes can't see but your heart can feel. And when the time is right, when the lessons have been learned and the patience has been proven, you'll see how everything connects. How the heartbreak led to healing, how the pain led to purpose, how the delay led to something greater than you ever imagined. That's the beauty of trusting Allah's unseen plan. It's not about knowing every answer. It's about finding peace in the truth that He never makes mistakes. There are moments in life when you feel like everything you've prayed for is slipping further away. You've made dua after dua, begged for things to change, waited with hope, yet nothing seems to move. You start to wonder, has Allah forgotten me? Why does it feel like my life is stuck while everyone else is moving forward? But the truth is, what you see as delay is not denial, it's divine arrangement. Allah is not ignoring your prayers. He's orchestrating every detail of your life with perfect timing. You may not see it now, but every second of waiting is preparing you for something far better than what you asked for. When you feel delayed, it's easy to lose patience. You might look around and compare your journey with others. Someone got the job you wanted. Someone found the spouse you prayed for. Someone achieved the peace you've been chasing. And that comparison eats away at your heart. But what you don't see are the unseen battles, the hidden lessons, and the divine reasons behind your delay. Allah's plan for you is unique. He's not making you wait to punish you. He's making you wait to shape you, to refine your heart, to strengthen your patience, and to prepare you for what He's destined to give. If you were to receive everything you wanted the moment you asked for it, you wouldn't appreciate its value. You wouldn't be ready for it. You might even misuse it. Allah delays your blessings so that when they finally arrive, they come at a time when your heart is mature enough to handle them and your faith is strong enough to protect them. The delay is not wasted time. It's growth time. It's during the waiting that your character is purified, your soul is strengthened, and your trust in Allah is truly built. Think of a tree. Before it bears fruit, it spends years hidden beneath the soil, quietly developing deep roots. No one sees the progress, but it's happening. Then one day, it blooms, and it blooms beautifully. That's how Allah's plan for you works. He's growing your roots in the unseen, so that when your blessings come, they don't shake you, they sustain you. If you were to bloom too early, you might not survive the storms. But when you bloom in His time, nothing can uproot you. There's a verse in the Quran that says, indeed, Allah does not fail in His promise. When Allah promises you something, peace, love, provision, success, it will come, but only when the time is right. Your role is not to rush the process, but to trust it. Every unanswered prayer is still being heard. Every tear you shed in sujood is still being counted, and every moment of patience is still being rewarded. The only reason you haven't received what you asked for yet is because Allah knows that there's a better version of that blessing. One that will align perfectly with your destiny. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually Allah protecting you from something that would have harmed you. You might think you're ready, but Allah knows what's best for your future. You might want a door to open, but He knows there's danger behind it. So He keeps it closed, not to hurt you, but to shield you. And while you're crying over the door that didn't open, He's preparing one that will lead you somewhere far more beautiful than you ever imagined. There's wisdom even in waiting. Because during that time, you learn reliance, you learn patience, you learn how to surrender. The person you are becoming while you wait is often more important than the thing you're waiting for. Allah delays not because He wants to deprive you, but because He wants to transform you. The blessing is not just in the outcome. It's in the journey that molds your heart along the way. So the next time life feels delayed, remind yourself, Allah's clock never runs late. He is never too early, never too slow. His timing is perfect every single time. And when the right moment comes, you won't have to chase what's meant for you. It will arrive effortlessly, beautifully, and exactly when you're ready. You'll look back and realize that the waiting wasn't a pause in your story. It was the chapter that made everything else possible. The delay you're facing now is not the end. It's a sacred process. Allah is arranging your blessings, aligning your circumstances, and preparing your heart. So, be patient. Trust that the same one who wrote your pain has already written your relief. You may not see how it all connects today, but one day, when the pieces come together, you'll understand. The wait was never a delay, it was a divine arrangement. There comes a point in every believer's life when disappointment feels like a heavy weight on the heart. You planned so carefully, worked so hard, prayed so sincerely, and still the result wasn't what you expected. The doors you thought would open stayed locked. The people you trusted turned away, and the dreams you once held on to slipped from your grasp. It's natural in those moments to ask, why? Allah, why did this happen to me? But what if the very disappointment you're grieving over is, in reality, a divine blessing that you just can't see yet? What if the pain that broke your heart is actually the mercy that's saving it? Disappointment often feels like rejection, but in truth, it's redirection. When Allah blocks a path, it's because He knows what lies ahead. And sometimes, what looks beautiful to you is actually harmful. You see only the surface. Allah sees the entire picture. You focus on the moment. He knows your lifetime. That's why certain plans don't work out the way you imagined. The person you wanted to marry, the job you prayed for, the opportunity you thought would change your life. All of it may have looked perfect, but Allah's wisdom saw what your heart couldn't. So when He took it away, it wasn't cruelty, it was protection. Think about how many times in your past you were devastated over something not working out, only to later realize that it was the best thing that could have happened. That's Allah's mercy in disguise. You may have lost something small only for Him to save you from something far worse. Sometimes you're disappointed because you wanted ease, but Allah gave you hardship to bring you closer to Him. Sometimes you're sad because you lost people, but Allah removed them because they were blocking your peace. Every disappointment you face is not a dead end. It's a divine detour guiding you to where you're truly meant to be. We live in a world where we measure success by what we can see. Achievements, status, possessions. But Allah measures success by the state of your heart and the strength of your faith. Disappointments shake that faith, yes, but they also purify it. They strip away your dependence on people and outcomes, teaching you to rely only on the one who never changes. The moment something doesn't go your way, that's your opportunity to strengthen your relationship with Him. To say, Ya Allah, I don't understand this, but I trust you. Those words of surrender are powerful. They turn pain into peace, confusion into clarity, and fear into faith. Every disappointment is also a reminder of a greater truth, that this world was never meant to give you everything. No matter how much you plan, you'll always face moments things don't go as expected. And that's Allah's way of reminding you that true contentment lies only with Him, not in what you achieve or lose. When something slips away from your hands, perhaps it's because Allah wants you to turn your hands upward. In dua, in humility, in connection with Him. What you see as a disappointment might actually be a preparation. Maybe Allah is delaying your success so that your character can catch up with your destiny. Maybe He's keeping you in the dark so that your eyes can adjust to the light that's coming. Sometimes Allah takes away what you want to give you what you need. You might be praying for a certain outcome, but He's preparing a blessing that's far beyond your imagination. You only see one chapter of your story. He's already written the ending, and it's beautiful. There's something deeply peaceful about realizing that Allah's plan never fails. Every hardship carries within it a seed of goodness, even if you can't see it yet. The heart that learns to trust Allah through disappointment becomes unbreakable, because it no longer relies on what happens, it relies on who decides what happens. That's the kind of faith that turns pain into strength and loss into gratitude. So the next time something doesn't go your way, don't let disappointment make you bitter. Let it make you better. Tell yourself, if Allah took it away, He will replace it with something far greater. Don't mourn over the doors that closed. Celebrate the protection they represent. Because one day, you'll look back and thank Allah for not giving you what you wanted, because He gave you exactly what you needed. Every disappointment carries a hidden blessing, one that unfolds with time. You may not understand it today, but you'll understand it when you see how everything led you closer to Him. And that's the greatest blessing of all. To be guided back to the one who never disappoints. There is a divine beauty in surrendering to Allah's timing. It's not the kind of surrender that comes from defeat or hopelessness. It's the kind that grows from deep trust. A trust that whispers to the heart, Allah knows best even when I don't understand. Every delay, every unanswered dua, every closed door carries a divine wisdom that might not be visible to you right now, but it's written perfectly within the plan of the one who never makes mistakes. When you truly surrender, you stop fighting against time, you stop forcing outcomes, and you start to breathe with peace, knowing that what's meant for you will come exactly when Allah decrees it, not a second earlier or later. We live in a world of instant gratification where patience feels like punishment. We want everything now. The success, the relationship, the peace, the answers. But Allah's plan operates beyond our timeline. Sometimes He delays because your heart isn't ready yet. Sometimes He withholds because what you're asking for could harm you in ways you cannot see. And sometimes He simply wants you to grow through the waiting, to develop faith that's not dependent on immediate results. Because it's in the waiting that your sincerity is tested. It's easy to believe when life flows your way. But the real test of Iman is when nothing seems to move, yet your heart still says, I trust you, Allah. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means giving them back to Allah. It means saying, Allah, this is what I want, but only if it's good for me in this world and the next. That kind of submission doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. Because when you let go of control, you make room for Allah's control. And His control is always perfect. Every moment of delay is not a denial but a lesson. Allah is teaching you that peace doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from trusting the one who knows what's best. When you truly internalize this, you'll find tranquility even in uncertainty. You'll stop measuring your worth by outcomes and start finding it in your connection with Allah. The believer who surrenders fully to Allah's timing doesn't panic when plans fall apart. They understand that Allah's wisdom is always greater than their expectations. Sometimes you think you're being buried by the weight of delay, but in truth, you're being planted. And soon, by Allah's permission, you'll bloom in a season designed just for you. Think about how every prophet faced moments of waiting. Prophet Yusuf he spent years in prison before his dream was fulfilled. Prophet Musa bin Nuai, he wandered the desert before he saw liberation. Even our beloved Prophet Muhammad endured years of hardship and rejection before victory came. Allah could have granted them success instantly, but He didn't, because the waiting wasn't wasted. It built their strength, purified their intentions, and prepared their hearts for what was to come. Your journey is no different. The waiting season you're in right now might be the chapter where Allah is shaping your character for the blessings He's preparing ahead. Surrender is not passive. It's an act of courage. It means having faith when logic says, give up. It means smiling through tears, knowing that Allah's plan is always unfolding, even when you can't see it. It means praying not to change His plan, but to be content with it. When you surrender, your heart no longer races with anxiety over the future, because you know that the one who holds it is Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, and Al-Hakim, the all-wise. So, if you feel like your life is moving slower than you hoped, remember, Allah's delay is never His neglect. He hasn't forgotten you. In fact, He's closer to you now than ever. He hears every dua you whisper, sees every tear you hide, and knows every worry that weighs on your heart. When the time is right, everything will unfold so beautifully that you'll look back and realize why it couldn't have happened any sooner. Until that moment comes, hold on to patience. Keep your faith firm, your tongue busy with remembrance, and your heart steady with hope. Don't rush what Allah is perfecting. The plan you can't see is being arranged with more love and precision than you can imagine. Every second of waiting is bringing you closer to the moment Allah has written for you. The moment when all the pieces fit, all the prayers are answered, and all the pain makes sense. Surrendering to Allah's timing doesn't just change your circumstances. It transforms your soul. It replaces restlessness with peace, despair with gratitude, and fear with unwavering trust. Because once you truly surrender, you realize something profound. Nothing you've lost was ever meant to harm you, and nothing you're waiting for will ever pass you by. Everything is exactly as Allah has written, and His writing is always perfect. And when the day comes, you'll look back and realize that every moment of waiting, every tear you shed, every night you questioned His plan, was all part of His way of bringing you exactly where you were meant to be. So smile, wipe your tears. Allah knows. He sees you, He hears you, and He's telling you, you're seeing this right now for a reason. Because He's not done with your story yet.